You're listening to the Coop Homeschool Podcast.
This is your podcast for community, humility, and joyful fun in homeschooling. I'm Angie.
I'm Jessica.
And this is
The Coop.
Today it's 10 homeschool hacks.
Yes.
Hacks. They're shortcuts. They make life easier. And we want to give that to you for homeschooling.
Totally.
I love homeschool hacks. So we have a few. We have audiobooks, episode 67, adding novelty, episode 63, bedtime education, 73, how to car school, episode 19, and how to homeschool when you are sick, episode 24. These are all homeschool hacks, but today we're going to do 10 in one episode because they're quick, easy, and simple. But first, what's our scoop on the Coop?
It's a joint one.
Yay!
We kicked off our co-op year with our first official, what we call the monthlies, and you were involved in it.
I know. I was determined not to do a monthly this year. You know, we do so much on the back end for our co-op. And then we...
all the ends.
Yeah. Oh, we do all the ends. And I do the yearbook and the photo montage, and then like you're doing field trips, and then we're helping others work through navigation of relationships or with ideas or how to split up groups. And so we really don't need to do a monthly. The monthly is really for the moms who aren't doing anything else.
Right.
But I was invited to do it, so I was like, sure. And it was glorious, wasn't it? It was really, it was with two other moms, and we did a Lego Masters Lego Day.
Yeah.
And we did 3 main activities with a relay, with an Imagineering build, free build, and then also a challenge build for the older kids, and then zoo kits for the younger.
It was really great. It was a great kickoff. We worked with our co-op team, our other moms in the group. There's 18 of us now.
I know. We added 5 families just for this new year.
Yeah. But the 5 new families didn't play a role in determining the theme for the year. We used the 12 or
13. I think we lost one.
Yeah. The 13 moms who spent the last school year with us. We did a postmortem meeting, and then we did a planning meeting and discussed the theme that we wanted to carry forward. And so we settled on a STEAM.
Yes.
Science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So we decided to carry that for this year. And so each monthly meeting for the 8 months that we meet will be related to a STEAM concept.
Yeah. So this one was engineering.
Yeah.
And we focused on teamwork. And so it was really cool. A lot of communication, learning happened, and talking about encouraging each other and working as a team. So it was really fun. We wore Lego hats and Lego glasses and had base plates for them to build on, and Legos galore.
It was great.
Even the relay was building a Lego baton.
Yeah,
it was really
sweet. And my kids were excited to tell everybody else in their lives about it, even though
that's cute.
They're always like, what's co-op? What? Coop group? What are you talking about? You know, but they're like, no, it's like a school, kind of, you know, and then.
Well, we have 50 kids now. Yeah. And I think 45 are actual participating, you know, if you don't count the 1-year-old and the a couple 2-year-olds, so.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was really fun. It was great to kick it off. And now my duty is done, other than Galentine's and yearbook and everything else that I'm involved in behind the scenes.
Yeah, she's our photographer too. So
yes.
When she says yearbook, she doesn't mean getting everyone else's pictures. She means being responsible for being the primary person who is going to take pictures. We all take some, but most of us take just of our own kids.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. All right. So let's get started on our 10 homeschool hacks. All right, so first, picture book, YouTube read alouds.
Tell me more.
I will, actually. So I discovered this only recently, actually. A lot of people know my kids have seen books read aloud on YouTube before, just for fun. But I actually discovered this because I had the Creation Unit study by Brighter Dave Press, and there were so many beautiful picture books she was recommending, but they all cost money, and so I would have spent close to like $70 to $80 at least buying these picture books, and they weren't at the library because they were also Christian, and they didn't have them anywhere. I looked it up. They didn't even have them. So since I didn't have them and I didn't want to buy them, it occurred to me oh, people do YouTube read alouds all the time with picture books. And so I found them on there, and it was really great because my kids still got the picture book read, which isn't necessary, but I curated it ahead of time. You might have pastors reading it. You might have the Missouri Botanical Gardens reading it. What I found is it's cool when an organization does the read aloud because it's not just some random person in their home. It's actually, they're doing it with a purpose. And so
the setting might be.
Yeah, and they might do some graphic design. So this one about a pond, it was this little dragonfly, each page. So there was a dragonfly on a page, and they animated the dragonfly to kind of fly around the page while they read.
Cute.
And then while the person's reading, there's some soft music playing in the background. So it actually appeals to more senses than you would think. So that was a really cool one to do from the Missouri Botanical Gardens. But it was fun to see like pastors read these things. Yeah. And then sometimes it's like a library that reads it aloud. So it's really cool because it helps you stay a minimalist in your bookshelf and only have the books that you actually need. You can also use it to preview a book ahead of time to see if it's worth buying or if it's worth one that your child would actually want to hear. And then you could just skip it for that day if it's not one that they would connect to. Okay, so what's our number 2?
Number 2 is a low pressure homeschool style. So not everything needs fanfare.
Yeah.
And I think we all get caught up in the Pinterest moms or the Instagram moms, and we see all of these amazing things they do. And sure, it brings joy to the family, but not all of us can pull that off without feeling stressed and overwhelmed. And I know when I feel like I have a big task to do, and it's not something I feel like it fits naturally or I'm not excited about it, it actually adds a lot of stress to me and I end up avoiding it.
Yeah.
So the idea of doing something really big and special for my kids that I don't naturally want to do, I avoid it. I put it off. So I might not start my first day of school because I don't know how to make it perfect enough.
Oh, right.
You know, it's never going to be perfect enough and it's too much pressure. And so for me, I've learned to choose the things that I want to be special and memorable. And we have shared some of them in our fall traditions episodes or, you know, we have a traditions episodes for each season.
Oh, totally, yeah.
So I share a lot of those kinds of things. So there are things that I make special, but I don't always make my homeschooling things special because I think for me it's a hindrance.
Yeah.
So I'm going to overthink it, overplan it, and it's not going to live up to what my expectations are. So it's too much for me. It's not that my kids wouldn't love it. It's that I can't do it.
Yeah.
And
if it's too much for you, it's not going to be fun for you. And so then it won't be fun for them.
It won't feel
and
natural.
It'll take away.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I won't be able to naturally lead it. I'm going to be forcing it, which is, you're going to have fun whether you like it or not.
This is supposed to be fun.
So I know that, and I don't want it to be stressful. I already work and balance that. And so I need our homeschool life to just be natural. And part of what I've learned over the years is if I'm trying to raise lifelong learners and we encourage learning happening every day, it doesn't happen when I say let's sit down at the table.
Right.
You should be learning all the time when you play this board game, when you're watching this documentary on a Saturday afternoon, when you're playing with your friends on Sunday. You know, learning isn't confined to the weekdays between these hours. And it's freeing,
right? Then you don't feel like you have to do all this stuff during the week because like they're learning all the time.
Exactly.
And then you don't have to kickstart anything.
Exactly.
Unless you want to.
Exactly. And I want my kids to look back at their years of homeschooling as a natural progression. And I don't want it to be centered around, well, we did all these special things. And then the rest of the days were hard. And then we did something special and they're looking forward to these. To me, it feels almost manic, like it goes up and down. And I just want it to be a steady school year. I want to ease in, ease out, let the flow happen with the season. You know, there's times like when we go into schooling a holiday where we do it together with your family.
So fun.
We ease off the other things. You know, for me, it's not like a big like, okay, we're going to have a last day of this thing, you know, because for me, it's too much.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if my kids would respond the same way as me, but like you said, if I'm not going into it comfortably, they're going to notice.
Yeah.
And then they might not feed off of it very well.
Well, and then sometimes the amount of time, just I know from experience, the amount of time it takes for me to prepare for something special is actually time taking away from wonderful times that I could be having with them.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh, I'm going to work on this now, and I'm going to prepare this now, and it's going to take a couple hours, so you guys just go do whatever.
Right. And that's the thing. I want this journey in homeschooling to be something that was a natural part of our life, not an orchestrated part. And that, again, it doesn't mean you can't have fun times and do special things. It means it's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
It's okay to let go of having to have the picture perfect first day of school with the signs and the banners.
Right.
But if you love it and that speaks to you, that's
Then,
fantastic.
yeah.
It doesn't speak to me.
Yeah, so that's why you say low pressure.
Low pressure.
Don't
Yeah.
feel the pressure
Right.
of the Instagram people. Like,
do it the way you
oh,
want.
you know, sometimes I have a little FOMO when I see certain people I follow on Instagram and their schoolrooms, and I don't want a schoolroom that looks like that, but it's still fun to look at.
Right.
And then it's just to remember, like, no, I want a peaceful schoolroom for me, and I just want subtle color. I mean, this is a lot here, but on the opposite wall, there's barely anything there except for 3 pictures. And that's, I'm designing what's customizable to me.
Exactly.
And what doesn't overwhelm me.
Right. You can appreciate that others have their way of doing it. They might have fanfare around whatever is special to them.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. If that's a way to motivate your kids because that's what you do, that's great.
Yeah.
That's not how my kids are motivated, I've noticed. And so for me, it would be me trying to force a thing to happen. And I just don't have it in me.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So make homeschooling your own. One of the best things you can do is just customize it to fit you and your kids. And it's not going to look like someone else's.
Yeah.
And that is okay.
Yeah. No, I love that. And so you mentioned in a previous episode, like how you handle the first day of school. Like for you just ease into it and they can see a change of pace or a change of interaction because now you're introducing a new book to the experience or a new unit study to the experience. But they may have been doing a unit study in July. Right. You know, you take a trip and you introduce stuff on the trip.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, we just ease it in there. It's not a big to-do.
So just kind of not juxtaposing to that.
Right.
But sometimes us moms need a fresh start.
Right.
And so I think that's part of the fanfare of the first day of school is we love to have a fresh start. Okay, this year we're starting again.
Right. It's a do-over.
Or,
I got this.
Or it's like I had a break and now I'm re-energized. And so that led me to think of why do we love the fanfare of a first day of school? And it's the new beginning.
Yeah.
So we like new beginnings. And again, they don't have to be pomp and circumstance. You can ease into it. But in your head, if it's a new beginning, it will feel like a fresh start to you.
Exactly.
And if that's motivating to you, then why not do them multiple times of the year?
Yes.
So I call this homeschool hack number 3, new beginnings, refresh and restart throughout the year. So how you feel at the end of the school, like we talk about, we're so excited for the next school year, our planning, our ideas, and new things we're going to do. We're buying gather round unit studies.
Right. And I genuinely am. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're really excited about it. And so if you're excited to kickstart like a new unit study or a new theme or whatever it is, maybe do that more than once a year. Yeah. Maybe do that more than just a first day of school. And so what you like about your first day of school is that it's low pressure. Like for you, it's low pressure, but you're probably starting a new unit study that you're sneaking in there, you know, or if it's low pressure because we're just having fun that day. We're going to do our question of the day and we're going to do some fun crafts we never do together. Like have the low expectations, then have multiple days like that throughout the year. So take off a week or take off 3 days. And then that first Monday of every month, do a fresh start. Oh, right. We're going to do this now. And so to me, that was the hack. Like, I love it when we start a new unit study. I'm super excited. So we did our creation study. We finished it. And now I'm taking a break before I actually start ancient history. I was thinking, I'm going to go right in. I'm like, no, I get more excited if I have a break.
Right.
And just do some of the mundane. And then when I am ready to start ancient history, we'll start it. Right. And that'll feel like a fresh start. I'll be remotivated. And, you can kick it off. You can do the fanfare and say, okay, we're going to play a game every Monday for ancient history.
Yes. And
then that's a new thing they're going to do. So it's just a fun idea.
I love
it. Yeah. Okay. Number 4, snack.
Oh, yes.
So there's plenty of things our kids that we know are good for them that they don't want to do. Same for us as adults, right? I don't want to exercise, but I know it's good for me. So I might reward myself with an energizing drink. Yes. Kids are the same way. Now, as a caveat, we don't want our kids to learn to cope with food or drink, but it is nice to take away a little bit of the pain of something. So if they don't like testing online, but they're part of a charter school that has them test online, why not give them their animal crackers during that time, or their pretzels? For us, it's animal crackers, it's pretzels. My daughter was telling me today it's raisins.
Oh.
So, and every once in a while, you can surprise them with like Yum Earth. Yum Earth is if you want to call it a healthier candy.
Right. It's organic.
Yeah. And no dyes, bad dyes anyways. And so one of our friends was saying when her daughter does the testing online, she gives her the miniature chocolate chips.
Oh, yes.
So, you can do a fun snack for them or a treat. And if it's something you would have given them anyways once a week, pick that time to give it to them.
Right. It's using your time well for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And or like their favorite chips, like instead of having that with their burger tonight, give it to them. When you're starting something that you want this positive connection with, right? It's just part of setting the scene, whether it's a positive smell, they get to light the candle, or, it's that idea. They get to pick the music for the background. But in this case, saying just give them a fun snack. All right, should we do the next one?
Yes.
The exercise ball. So
I have it over here.
Jesse's going to hold it up here. We have a pink one because this is one of, we used to have 3 and now we just have 2 because one popped.
Oh, jeez. Well, I've seen how your children use it. So
yes.
Not surprising.
They're very violent with these exercise balls.
They're kids. They use them.
Yeah. So they love it and they sit on it while we work on unit study workbooks together, while they watch informational videos like on YouTube or documentaries. It moves all around the house. Sometimes it's here in our schoolroom. They move the chair and they roll it up and then they're just bouncing while they're doing their math or while we're doing a read aloud or whatever. But I love that it keeps their blood flowing. They're working their muscles. It adds pizzazz to their school time. And I never suggest it. They know they can take that ball wherever they want. And I first got it because my friend was getting rid of her Weight Watchers exercise ball. She's like, do you want this? And I was like, oh, well, I used to have one as my office chair when I worked and didn't have kids. And I'm like, that'd be good for me to sit on. So, but then it was just rolling around because there's no place to really put it.
You can't store it.
Yeah,
really well.
It's kind of an eyesore, so you have to be okay with that. But my kids started playing on it, and then they're the ones who figured out, oh, this makes a great chair. Mm-hmm. And then they started doing that. And it does keep them more engaged. It does keep their attention more. And, I bet if I got them those, it's like an exercise bike while
the
you
bike
sit.
Under the table.
Yeah. They'd probably have fun doing that. It's anything like that keeps them moving.
So I firmly believe in the idea behind those things. But as a mom who gets very easily overstimulated, the thought of trying to talk to them while they're bouncing, it already makes me like hot and sweaty.
I saw your eyes kind of bulge a little bit.
Yeah. I can't do it, and it's not their fault. And I know, again, the principle of getting out that kinetic energy and being able to take information, I firmly believe in as a dance educator and all of these things.
Yeah.
But personally, I get so overstimulated that all the moving, it drives me crazy, and I have to work through that.
But if we did your movement and your movement video, your brain warm-up
video. Dance warm-up.
Brain dance warm-up. It's in our music and movement episode number 31. If we did that 12-minute or 11-minute video in the mornings, then maybe they wouldn't have as much of a need.
Sure.
So, but if you're not doing that, that's one way to get out the wiggles. And keep their attention. And what's fun is they also try new tricks. So even when we're not doing anything, they'll line up the balls and they'll run and they'll try and slide across the balls to the ends, you know. And I love what that's teaching them for their balance and their coordination. And it's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. Okay. So number 6 is subscribe.
Yes.
So this homeschool hack is subscribe to blogs, subscribe to podcasts. And we're not just saying that because we want you to subscribe to us.
We do.
But yeah, we do. And we want you to refer us to people too.
Yes.
So, but because you get free stuff.
Yeah.
You get tips, you get free downloadables. I'm just going to give a couple examples, and we're going to link more on our show notes. So check that out. That's one of the free things you have. You can find these people that we have found and are passing on to you. So, for example, Gather Round. I subscribe to her email. I get her email, and then she says, "Oh, I have these free downloadables." So I went in. She had an artist study. She had nature studies. She had letters and numbers, and they're just samples sometimes. But she had the letter M and N and Z and coloring sheets. And it was like, oh, well, that would just be a fun way to do the letter M, N, and Z, and then find other ways to do other letters.
Exactly.
And so it's great for homeschooling on a budget. Big Life Journal. Every week I get a free downloadable from them through my email. And I've used their stuff a lot, like the free stuff. Right. And I've even printed them out. And then over time, then I comb bound it and then had a little workbook of 12 to 14 sheets.
All for free.
All about growth mindset. Learn, one I remember was the iceberg and showing all that's going on under the water that they don't know about. And so it's just really cool, to get these free things at your fingertips just by pulling them up. And it's also a great way to give you a hint of what they are about. So I buy the Big Life journals, and we're going to do it again this year at some point. But I did the Big Life Journal 4 years ago. And ever since then, I've been getting these downloads, and it's awesome. And so, sometimes we offer free downloadables as well. So subscribing to us, we'll refer you to other podcasts that we've done. And it just helps you be oh yeah, it's fall and there's fall traditions. Right. I forgot about that. I want to be refreshed on some fall traditions. And so it's just a nice tool.
It is. I still have things that I'm subscribed to from years ago. When my daughter was a toddler, I signed up for signing time.
Oh.
And so I still get emails about that, but they're interesting. You know, there's developmental information in there. And so it's not even specific homeschool related stuff, but it's just things that you wouldn't have sought out, but that comes to you and you just browse it real quick and you either get rid of it or
it takes no time.
Click on that, you know. And so I have Radish Kids in here, the Great Homeschool Convention. Amy at Rock Your Homeschool has a happy first day of autumn email that came out. You know, I get the Gather Round just like you. There's tons of them that I have in here. And so we are saying that even still, we subscribe to all of these. Oh, yeah,
we love it.
Because this is how we get our information. You know, I get so much out of it. The well-planned gal who does homeschool planners.
Oh, yeah.
I see hers, and she gives 5 morning routines every 2 to 7-year-old would love.
Yeah, totally.
So there's constant things, and maybe you're not going to click on it. But what is it going to harm you to just, I mean, I know some people get overwhelmed by their inbox,
well,
but for me, I don't care.
If you get a couple that you like from this person, don't unsubscribe, pay attention to it. Annie and Everything is someone that I found at a homeschool conference, and she's changed it to, it's not that hard to homeschool.
Cute.
But she says, give your teen the high school education you want for them while maintaining your own sanity in the process. And I went and heard her, and I was like, okay, I don't have a high schooler yet, but I'm feeling kind of anxious about it.
Right.
I want to know. And so when I get her emails, I save all of them because I'm like, at one point I'm going to sit down and I'm going to sort for her.
Right.
And I'm going to go through all these. And I bought her How to Write a Homeschool Transcript, I think, her workbook from that. And I'm going to go through all this, and I know it's going to give me confidence. I know I'm going to feel more equipped because of it.
Right.
Because she's been through it. So, and that's what's great about a homeschool conference too, is you can listen to people and be like, I do want to hear more from them.
Subscribe.
Yeah. Subscribe. All right. Okay. Number 7, Jessie.
Topic display area. I didn't have a better name for that. I wasn't creative enough.
Perfect.
So this is where I might be a little Instagrammy, I guess, because it does end up making for a nice thing to photograph.
Yeah.
But it really is for me
Yeah.
and for my kids in my house. I have a little credenza that's got mixed match stuff on it, a printer, a record player, and, whatever. But on the top, I use it for all of the stuff that we're studying currently. So for instance, right now, we're still working our way through North American birds. So we have that game Wingspan I shared about. I have our reference books. I have our Gather Round workbooks on there. I have picture books up there. And so I love that my kids can see everything. And then sometimes they'll take it upon themselves to grab something. Or if not, I remember that we have it right there. I'm looking at it from my seat at the table. I see that credenza. Everything is on it. And I'll say, oh, we need to play this game now.
Yeah.
We just covered
I forgot
this.
about it.
Or we have the Trumpet of the Swan. I have the physical Trumpet of the Swan book up there, but we listen to the audiobook. But I see it, and then I think
It reminds you.
It reminds me because we're only listening to the audiobook in the car. We get in the house or we open our books and we forget that we've even done it. So then I see it there and I think of it. So I love having that topic area available. This year, I'm actually doing multiple unit studies at one time.
Oh, wow.
A little crazy. Not very low pressure.
Sounds overwhelming.
However, you should see my notes about it. So I'm like, lesson 5 of this one, lesson 2 of this unit, and then, plugging it all in. But because it's all related to North America right now, I have a huge map of North America up. I have my globe out. I have our North America stuff. I have Atlas out. And then it kind of flows into the North American birds.
And can I share where this is?
Yeah.
This is in one of your main rooms, like your dining room. Yeah. And so what I love about that is your children can see other people go over to it and say, oh, what's this? And be interested too and be curious about it too.
Exactly. And that happens often. So even if I didn't have stuff on the credenza, say I have a family gathering, I will clear it.
Yeah.
But for casual, friends coming over and stuff, it stays there.
Yeah.
They see my normal life.
Yeah.
But when we remove it, it's amazing because I don't clear out that room. That is our homeschool room. It's my big dining, everything room. And so our normal homeschool shelves and display area are always out. And so how I love my reference books. They're all there, but I'll have uncles come over and they go over there and find something interesting, and they're looking at an illustrated book on the Hobbit, or they're looking at Greek mythology or the myth atlas we have, and that's really neat for me to be able to see that. And like you said, it's a great example to the kids that all people are interested in learning. It's not because I'm forcing you to do these studies. People are curious, and we might not be curious about the same things, but look at how these family members or friends are interested in what you're learning about, and everyone gets to share that joy. So I love, even if it's in your dining room, even if it's on the piano, even if it's somewhere that might seem like it doesn't fit, I still would suggest a topic display area.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to go back to what you're saying about forgetting.
Yes.
Because I don't have that, you know, and so I use my cart sometimes, and I'll pile up a bunch of stuff there, and then it'll be on my table, and then it'll be on the floor, and then it'll be in the bookshelf. And then it's like, wait, okay, so today we're doing this. What? And I almost, when we were doing human body, I had a whole kit about the anatomy of a cell.
Oh.
And it was from Banyan Tree. It was I just bought an a la carte subscription box, one off. And it had this beautiful book in it. And I almost forgot to do it. I was so glad when I realized, after I read the Gather Round on that day, I was like, oh, I have Banyan Tree. I have this to do. And almost forgot about it. And then if I had gone on to the next body system, I would have been so bummed. Like, I'm not going to circle back to that. That doesn't fit now with where we're going. Right. And so the forgetting is it's
a real thing.
Yeah. Because we love all these resources, and so we buy all these resources, or we check them out, or we borrow them from each other, and then they don't get used because they're tucked away.
And then here's the thing too, to go even further, it inspires me to get out other things I hadn't even thought of.
Yeah.
To get out a different reference book that wasn't on the Gather Round list. I have a Birds of Prey book that's 35 years old. I should grab that and get it out. Or we should get the binoculars out and put them over here too, so that we encourage the kids to go look for birds.
Yeah.
Just the idea of connecting all the things that we might have or do or want to do with that topic. Yeah, it's a great tool for me in my house.
Yeah,
and it's something that I do naturally because it speaks to me. I'm not good with decor, but that's what we're doing. This is our life right now, so I love having it out there.
Like my dad has always said, your home is a tool.
Oh,
it's not a showpiece.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I feel that in my soul.
Yeah. All right, number 8, on the go watercolor supplies. So I have here, I'll link it, but it's just this little metal. This is a small one. There's bigger ones. My daughter also has a bigger one after I saw your bigger one. But it's just little watercolor, and it's a tin. I'm going to hear it. You can hear it click. It's just fold up little palette with the watercolors inside, about the size of a 3x5 card.
Yes.
And then we have these watercolor brushes that have water inside. So you can take this brush, and there's different sizes of brushes, fill it up with water. It doesn't leak. It's perfect for on the go. And then we have the watercolor. And then you might need a paper towel, so you can switch watercolor colors by just squeezing the brush and cleaning out your brush that way. And then some watercolor paper, or even just some printer paper.
Yeah.
And you can do art on the go. For those of you who love Charlotte Mason, this is a great thing to do for nature studies, for being present in the moment, letting them find their way on their walk of something that impacts them and talks to them, that they want to, whether it's a leaf, a bird, a tree, or the dirt path that they're on.
Exactly. You can take that nature journal to the next level.
Yeah, definitely. And it just keeps art in your life wherever you go. So you have an example of how you used it.
Last year we went to the Grand Tetons in multiple places, but we found a beautiful spot to stop on Jenny Lake. It was absolutely gorgeous. The Tetons were in the background. And so we just had this view of this lake, these trees, and leading up to the iconic view of the mountains. And it's the type of mountains that all the kids draw that have the actual point.
Oh, totally.
And so there's reasons people draw those mountains. And it was spectacular. So my mother-in-law was on the trip with us. She did her own version. My husband, both of my kids, and we all did our own version of what we saw.
What did you sit on while you were painting?
So we found a little spot that wasn't too far from the car. So we actually had our folding chairs.
All right.
And then I have, you love my little camping table,
totally.
my fold-up camping table. It folds into a briefcase. But we had that out, and we had all of our picnic stuff.
That's cute.
And my son mostly was just throwing rocks in the water. That's his jam whenever we're out in water. But he did participate for a small time because he was like, what are you doing? But we had the full setup that you had suggested to me. I don't know anything about watercolors. So I got the tin, but we have the bigger one. And then we got the brushes that fill with water, which I learned they screw the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, it depends which ones. Mine screw the right way. But then I got a new set, and
they're the wrong way.
And they're the opposite way.
So I was like, Jay, they're broken. And then finally,
we couldn't get it open.
I know, because you're going, it's not Lefty Lucy, and then all of a sudden you go
Lefty Lucy.
You go the other way, and it was like, oh, it's just backwards. It's threaded.
Yeah.
What we call the
what
wrong
country
way.
it comes from. Yeah.
So that was a surprise. But we'll link the ones that we have, and they're really easy. And you had suggested canvas, but for me that was too much, and I needed to pack light.
Paper. Did I say canvas?
Or maybe. No, you bound a watercolor book for each kid, so then they were small. I just brought my whole pad of watercolor paper.
Well, because you were. I had made mine for the Arches National Park, and because someone had said it'd be nice if they had like art they could draw or whatever, and I think he even said watercolor. While maybe the older people like Marcus and my son or something go further.
A real hike, yeah.
Yeah. And while they went further on the hike and saw more arches, I sat with the girls and I was the only one painting. But that was fine. They saw me doing it and I enjoyed it and it filled my soul. But what I had done was I had taken our watercolor paper ahead of time and cut them in half, I think, and then comb bound just like 5 pieces together. So they had like 5 different opportunities or 10 front and back to do it if they wanted to. So
it's nice when the opportunity presents itself, but it's not one that I think either one of us felt like we had to force.
Right.
But I did love having it available. And my husband specifically requested we bring it on this road trip after having done it last year.
It's just nice to know it's available.
Yeah.
And, we took it camping. I think it was 3 years ago. I brought it camping and I had easels and I just put watercolor paper. And like 2/3 of the kids ended up doing it. But what I loved is it puts you in the moment and you actually take in details that you may not have taken in, that you would have missed had you not been doing an art project.
Totally.
Yeah. So, okay, should we move on?
Yes.
Number 9, trampoline park or an activity zone place passes. For those, it's for those who live in an average city. Most cities have a trampoline park or like a Boomers or something, but a place where they have memberships. So we love having the trampoline park passes. It's like a playground, right? But it's temperature controlled. It's safe and clean bathrooms, tables to work at usually. You can see your kids pretty well based on, the layout of the trampoline
well, we intentionally choose one that we do feel that way.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We did. Yeah, it's like where we can sit, we can see the entire place. And your kids don't get dirty. So it's a wonderful way to do a playground moment without all the dirt, and which is still good for them to experience, but I like that it's air conditioned, especially when it's hot, or it's warm when it's cold outside.
Yes.
They have many different options. So they have like climbing walls and obstacle courses, balance beams, parkour experiences, dodgeball courts, basketball hoops, pit jumps. This place is our second day of gymnastics, basically. So the one we go to has the balance beam. It has like a spinning balance beam with a rope hanging. It has the climbing wall. It has the pits and it has the dodgeball court, and it's good enough. It doesn't have to have everything. And they run around, they get red in the face, they get sweaty.
For sure.
And it's way cheaper than having a second class at gymnastics. A second class at gymnastics would have been another $100 a kid per month for them to go once a week. With our membership passes, so it ranges from $15 to $20 a kid. Right. Other places might be $25 or $30, but it's per kid per month. So, and it's daily you can go. All the places we looked at, we have 3 options in our little area. It's all daily. It's 1.5 to 2 hours per day you can go for a total of $15 to $20 per kid per month.
Right.
I mean,
they're not going there one day for 2 hours.
Yeah. And there's usually an activation fee because they don't want you to buy a membership just to go one time. But the activation fee is what, $10 to $15. There might be a cancellation fee if you cancel early. But as long as you go like 3 or 4 months, you probably won't have a cancellation fee. And the coolest thing is there's lots of homeschool families there because you go during the day when no one else is there. We don't go in the summer. We go during the day, during the school year. And lots of homeschool families are there. And you can get your work done. The older kids, if they don't want to jump, they can get their work done. Yeah. Or you can jump too. You can get your exercise in too. If you want to buy a pass for yourself, you can do that. Or it's like where we go, it's $2 for an adult to jump.
Right, when your kids have passes.
Yeah, and it's $10 to bring in a guest. So, there's all these different nuances where you go, but just to let you know that that's out there, that's something to check out because it's great for play dates. You don't want to clean your house. Get your friends to sign up for this.
Yeah, don't want to run your AC for hours.
Yeah, get your friends to sign up. You work part-time or full-time, 2 hours purely on your computer while your kids jump. Like, you will not feel guilty about that.
Nope.
And we've even done a birthday party, like during the day on a school day. I just brought donuts. And then our friends with passes came, and then we just paid a couple people to come in for $10 a piece. I mean, cheapest trampoline birthday party ever. So I use my laptop. You and I have planned co-op events. We've planned
podcasts.
Yeah, planned podcasts. And our kids get to navigate other kids. Today we were there. And I was hanging out with a homeschool mom that I had met there that my daughter had made friends with. So now we're meeting up pretty regularly. I want to do the trampoline, and she lives 5 minutes from there.
Right.
So she says, whenever you come,
just
let me know. And she'll pop over for an hour, and then she leaves. Oh, and that's also awesome because it's not a big commitment for a play date.
No.
Someone can literally just come for 30 minutes, or you can overlap. So it seems like I tend to overlap with her.
Right. Because your kids are going to have fun anyway. It's not the same as waiting at a park or playground. Like my daughter at her age, at 10, she doesn't really want to go play on the playground unless her friends are there. But at the trampoline park, she'll go and do things. She'll, try to get better at a skill. She'll challenge herself. And so it's fine if her friends aren't there yet.
Right. And my youngest was playing with her new friend. And my other daughter was super bored after an hour. And I said, why don't you go try and learn to flip?
Right. Go figure out something new.
Go learn to flip. And then I saw her, and my son was teaching her how to flip.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it's like, see, I'm not worried about injury. I know injuries happen, but they can get injured on the playground. So,
right. It's
you're going to
anywhere.
live with risk. Yeah. And so also today, there was a little boy who was 7 that was bothering my 7, almost 8-year-old. But bothering her because he didn't know boundaries. He didn't know personal space. But he was precious. Like, he even came up to me like I was his mom and leaned against me. So I just think he didn't have those boundaries in his mind. But my daughter came and said, I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
So I helped her with what words to say. She said, that's really hard. And I was like, I think you can do it. But if you try and you can't do it, then you can come get me at that point and bring him to me. And I can talk to him for you. And she did it. She said, I really want to play it by myself right now. And he said, okay. And he went off and played with someone else. He was just super friendly.
Aw, yeah.
But this other homeschool mom and I were talking. I was like, this is a skill the girls need to learn. Yeah. They need to learn to share when they're comfortable and uncomfortable.
Right. And not force them to be uncomfortable. Like, listen to that voice. This isn't something I need you to just get through.
Yeah.
If you are physically uncomfortable, say something.
Yeah.
It is okay. You can say it nicely.
Yeah.
You can say it. And then if it's not being respected, you may escalate it.
Yeah.
You need to know that that's available to you.
Yeah. And I even told her, I said, I've had to do that as an adult. This is a good skill for you to practice. And so all that's happening, and you're there for it, and they know they can come to you. So, I just love the trampoline pass.
Yeah, I love it too.
Yeah, we do it together.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, last one, Jessie.
Final one. Offer a simple choice. Maybe you're going to offer a few simple choices throughout the day, but don't forget that kids get very overwhelmed being told what to do all the time. And you want this I feel like we all want this homeschooling experience to be for them and something that they are actively a part of and not just doing it to them. I'm not trying to drag them along to get them to do all the things I want them to do, which means how can I involve them? And I think for most parents, we've heard this over the years, is give them a simple choice. Would you like to eat carrots or celery for your snack?
Right.
Give them a couple options that you're okay with. Are you okay starting the day with math or history? Then give them the choice. Which thing would you like to do first? Because it gives them ownership. It makes them feel heard by you. And if you're indifferent to it, let it happen. If there's something you need to have done, if you need to get your math done that day, but history is okay if it doesn't happen, offer a different choice.
Yeah.
Do you need to do your chore first, or would you like to jump right into math?
Yeah.
Do you want to eat your breakfast while you listen to me read our gather round? Or do you want to eat first and read your book, wake up, and then we'll start? Like, I can offer these choices to help them feel comfortable with their school day. And then now that I really have 2 kids kind of going and they're working on different things and my son needs a lot of one-on-one, it's easy to be able to offer that choice because I know I need that time with him. So I'm just work on being very flexible, not having a order of the day, but just saying, okay, I know this is my personal priority. We need to get through this thing. So that one needs to happen, but how it happens doesn't matter.
Right.
So being able to offer a choice,
I love
or like with the snack hack.
Yeah.
The
snack hack.
The snack hack. Do you want to save the snack for when we learn this? or for when we do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know, like now they know they get the snack and they get to decide, you know, which thing would it be better to do it with, you know, and let them try. And it's just nice to give them the feeling of ownership in what they're doing.
I love it. Yeah. I have these wooden circles with magnets on the back that I will put up to say these are the priorities for the day. Put the break where you want, put them in the order that you want. Sometimes I don't let them because I'm like, well, I have to do this at this time because that's when my youngest can do this.
Right.
And
I have to do it this
and
way.
you're leaving to go do a play date. So we have to do this first. But normally I just put them up there and I say, okay, whose turn is it to do the order? Or
build the day.
Yeah. And,
that's cool.
And they'll do that. And then the break is a little wooden acorn.
Cute.
And I have like 4 of them. And it says "Go Nuts" really small on it.
Cute.
And then they put those where they want the break, and they can double it up. They can, you know, however they want to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I think it makes a difference.
I do.
So the 10 homeschool hacks, just real quick, just because this is all very important. Picture books, YouTube read alouds is number 1. Number 2, low pressure homeschool style. Number 3, get new beginnings and fresh starts throughout the year. Number 4, fun snacks. Number 5, the exercise ball. Number 6, subscribe. Number 7, topic display area. Number 8, on-the-go watercolor art supplies. Number 9, trampoline park or activity zone passes. And number 10, offer simple choices.
Yes.
All right. So now it's time for our Coop
Q&A, where we answer your questions.
What's the question, Jessie?
What do you do or say when your child is bored? What do you do?
So it depends on my mood. So if I'm annoyed, then I'm like, oh, that's not my problem. That's not what I want to hear.
My annoyed response is, oh, I have some chores for you.
Yeah. Or I'm like, oh, is your room clean? You can go clean your room. Oh, or do you have toys to get rid of? Because obviously you don't need them. So yes, so we all have our annoyed thing, but we do know it's a great opportunity for their imagination to grow, and so I've tried to migrate my brain over the years with that, and we have a blog about that too, just a really short one. We'll link here, called "The Gift of Boredom," but it's really when the imagination grows. So I'm trying to change my mindset, and instead of being annoyed and being like, oh, this is when they're really going to learn. This is when they're really going to grow as a person and create. And so then sometimes I'll just say that, wow, I'm so excited to see what you figure out.
Right.
But see, that's when they're asking to watch TV.
Yes.
So on the times that I don't, I can say my daughter right now, on the times that I don't give in to that, she now has started diving into the Radish Kids subscription boxes, even though I wanted them to be these, talk about the easing in. I want them to be these big box experiences, and we're going to do the whole box, and we're going to do the dinner.
Yeah.
You know, we do this special thing. And she's like, I just want to bake. I just want to go in. So I'm like, you know what?
Okay.
You're using them. So she's gone in, and I'm always going to offer the lemon meringue, not meringue, lemon custard sugar cookies. I mean, it's amazing.
I'll have one.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's the curdled lemon
curd.
Yeah, lemon curd. They're amazing. She didn't like the lemon curd, so she wanted it plain.
Did she make it fresh?
Yeah, she made it all from
the lemon curd too?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So I had to help her. I had to reheat the curd for her because she's like, it's still liquidy. I'm like, okay, I've never made lemon curd, but she read to me that heat until it thickens 6 to 8 minutes. She's like, I had it on there 6 minutes, and I'm like, it probably wasn't hot enough.
Right. It's not a perfect turn it off at 6 minutes. It's turn it off when it's done.
Yeah. And so then I showed her what it should look like. Yeah. And then she saw that, and then she didn't like how it tasted. So she wanted, she only kept a couple plain for herself.
Right.
And my other daughter. But the lemon curd is amazing. So I even saved some on the side for like scones, hopefully soon. I don't know how long it lasts.
A week.
Okay.
10
so
days.
You'll have to try one before you leave.
I will.
I meant to offer to you. So anyways, so she's been doing that.
That's
she's
awesome.
made the apple bread. She just, and I'm literally not even in the kitchen. I might help her put something in the oven and take it out.
Right.
But she made goulash with the meat and everything. without me. All I did was open up the meat package for her.
Nice.
And threw away the meat package after it was dumped in. But that's it. It's amazing. Awesome. And I'm so glad that I did the
let it go.
Let it go. Pressure. Let her ease into it. Go through all the boxes. Pick out whatever recipes you want to do. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. And it's better because she's doing it on her own. I'm too busy. That's why she's bored. I'm not engaging them. Right. You know, and so now she's developed this skill that's just getting better and better and better. And I'm so glad I said no to turning on the TV, because a lot of times I'm like, okay, fine.
Sure. You did all the other things.
Yeah. So now, so it's just reinforcing, okay, the gift of boredom is developed. Yeah. That's when they develop their skills.
Right. Yeah. My daughter will go straight to her books, and whether it's rereading something, because she's in between books, you know, she'll come and complain that I have nothing to read right now. And then I'll say, well, we can go to here's your solutions, but I can't take you there right now.
Oh, right.
And then all of a sudden I'll see her rereading something. She's like, oh, I guess I'll read this one. And then she's, loving it. And we're talking about it again, or she'll write her own books. And so she fills her time well. My son, who's 4, we have a harder time, he definitely wants to use screens to kill the boredom. But I notice when he doesn't, when I just keep saying no and redirecting, he will settle into something. And it's so magical to just watch the different things and to say, I didn't know he could play like that already. Yeah. I didn't know he was so imaginative, because he doesn't get to show it off all the time. But when we were doing this thing, it was great. And I have to share. I'm going to share a quick little thing. When we were camping, it was dark and we had the fire going, and the kids and their Nana had been playing Uno. And so for some reason we didn't either want to get it out or something was going on. And so my husband said, here, I'm going to deal imaginary Uno. So he deals imaginary cards. I don't want to play because this is not my jam. Ugh. I'm not into pretend play. No, and it's so bad. And then I get all overworked about it because I'm like, I don't know what to pretend I have. I know. And they're like, it doesn't
You're so good at thinking on the spot.
Different kinds of thinking.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm good at problem solving. But this isn't a problem to solve. That's why I can't think of anything. So they all had cards, and my 4-year-old was playing. He didn't play about, he had infinite reverse cards, but he didn't just try to win, and he didn't, I'm not sure what the other options are. Oh, he wasn't doing like draw four. Yeah. It was like reverse, and it was so cute. And my daughter's first play, she was the last one because where she sat, my husband dealt, and then she was next to him. So she was the last player to go. And when it was her turn, she's like, oh, I don't have a heart. And she drew her card. Oh, that was her first play. Cute. And so it was so cute. I would have never done that. I would have just been looking to make the game get over. I would have been like, oh, looks like they win. Yeah. So I loved watching it. And that came out not necessarily because they were bored, but they were looking for something to do. But the adults didn't want to engage in that particular activity. It's hard to navigate the cards on a small table in the dark and headlamps.
Yeah, totally.
So it ended up being so much fun. My son was like, can we play imaginary Uno? Can we play imaginary Uno?
Oh my goodness, I love it.
It was so cool. Sweet. So I'm glad I thought of that because that was such a great moment.
Yeah.
Encourage them to play an imaginary game.
Yeah. So cool.
Have you ever played this without real cards? Try it.
Yeah. I love that.
I know. I thought I had to tell you.
So
Mandy and I haven't caught up in so long.
I know. I mean, we have been talking about Ryan Gosling a lot, but did he or didn't he? Yeah.
Busted. Anyway.
No, that was fun.
Thanks for listening. We love your support. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast, leave a rating and review to let us know how we're doing, and share our podcast with your friends who need a little community, humility, and joyful fun in homeschooling.